Sellers often lose thousands early on, not from the market, but from letting their emotions drive the process. This video will show you how to avoid making the same mistakes. And one quick note up front, I'm Melina Rissone. I specialize in helping divorcing couples stay calm, grounded, and organized while guiding them through a successful home sale. But while this video is designed for divorcing couples, most of what I'll share in this video applies to any homeowner who wants to keep emotions from derailing their home sale. Here's the reality. Ultimately, it doesn't matter whether a couple is married, separating, or co-owning a home. When feelings run high, logic tends to take a back seat, and the financial consequences appear quickly. The home is often one of the most valuable shared assets, especially in San Diego, where home values have appreciated for decades. Protecting the value is not just a financial task, it's an emotional one. So let's look at these decisions and the emotional tendencies that can either support your success or quietly unravel it. These issues can cost you thousands of dollars or even prevent you from selling at all. Let's begin with one of the biggest misunderstandings. Most sellers believe conflict shows up during negotiations or when it's time to accept or decline an offer. But that's not where the trouble actually starts. Emotionally sabotage starts long before the home ever hits the MLS. It begins in the early stages where decisions may seem small. When should we list? Who cleans what? Who's responsible for meeting the photographer? Who signs the paperwork? These questions seem harmless, but they create pressure points. If the communication is unclear or the spouses feel unheard, well, in a market that's competitive and timing sensitive as San Diego, delays can translate into less interest, fewer showings, and lower offers. So let's talk about emotional preparation, because this is where many couples underestimate the impact. The home is more than a building. It holds memories, routines, and reminders of life as it used to be. Even in divorces that ended peacefully, letting go of the home can feel like letting go of identity. This emotional attachment can show up in subtle ways. One spouse may drag their feet on decluttering because it feels like erasing the past. Another may refuse to pack certain rooms because they don't want to feel like a visitor in their own home. None of these reactions are necessarily signs of stubbornness or malice. These can often be normal coping mechanisms. When people feel out of control, they often try to control the one thing in front of them. And in this case, that thing is the house. Here's a hypothetical example to illustrate this point. A couple agrees that one home should be listed within a few weeks, but as the date approaches, one spouse keeps postponing the tasks. They say timing is bad. They say the photographer should wait until the weather improves. They say they can't handle the sight of a huge pile of boxes. The other spouse becomes frustrated and the listing date gets pushed out. The home ultimately launches during a slower week with less buyer activity. And in this case, the delay didn't come from any emotional sabotage. It came from stress-driven procrastination. But the financial impact is the same. Now let's talk about repairs. Repairs expose emotional stress very quickly. During separation or the months leading up to the divorce, home maintenance often gets ignored. A water heater past its recommended lifespan, outdated plumbing that no one wants to deal with, electrical outlets that flicker, small roof leaks, loose railings. These items may have been ignored for years, but buyers notice them instantly. So when buyers walk into the home and see things like deferred maintenance, they automatically think about the risks and costs involved. They'll start to wonder, what else is wrong with the home? Things they can see with a simple walkthrough, and so they reduce their offer accordingly. In divorce sales, deferred maintenance often leads to disagreements about who caused the damage, who should pay to fix it. Each unresolved issue can feel like a proof of neglect, resentment, or unequal effort during a marriage. A simple way to reduce the friction is to bring in a neutral third-party professional, such as a home inspector or contractor, to provide a clear, unbiased assessment of what truly needs attention here. A pre-listing inspection is one of the most effective tools for divorcing sellers. For a relative low cost, both spouses receive the same objective information. This removes suspicion and prevents the emotional back and forth that usually starts with the words, "That's not my fault." Without this shared understanding, minor issues can turn into major delays. Here's another hypothetical. A buyer submits a strong offer. They conduct inspections, they request credits for a plumbing issue. One spouse wants to offer a small credit to keep the deal moving. The other refuses entirely, insisting the buyer is making things up. The buyer feels uneasy and cancels. The next buyer offers less because the home has been sitting on the market longer. That loss in value came from emotion, not the market, and it illustrates one more reason to get the most significant repairs out of the way before selling. Now let's move into presentation. This is one of the strongest emotional triggers in a divorce sale. Staging makes a home look more presentable, but it does more than that. When done right, it can transform the space into something neutral, a market-ready home. It remakes the home into a place where buyers can easily picture themselves living. But during a divorce, depersonalizing your home can feel like an erasure. It can feel like the final confirmation that the marriage is ending. One spouse may be eager to make the home look polished and move toward a new chapter. The other may feel overwhelmed by the speed of the transition. In San Diego, staging generally costs between $1,000 and $5,000 depending on the size of your home. When the emotional or financial strain of physical staging is too heavy, virtual staging is a more affordable alternative. Buyers won't be able to walk through the fully furnished space, but they can at least envision its potential through your marketing photos. Whether virtual or physical staging is a powerful tool because buyers are perceptive. They pick up on the positive or negative feel of a home within seconds of seeing it. When a home looks cared for, they'll subconsciously assume the sellers are aligned. When a home looks chaotic, they assume conflict. Whether they realize it or not, that assumption reduces their willingness to write a strong offer. I see this all the time. Here's another example. Say two homes of the same architectural model are listed in the same neighborhood. One is staged beautifully and receives 3 offers above their asking. The other appears messy, unprepared, because one spouse was too stressed at the idea of properly decluttering. That second home sits on the market for weeks and ultimately sells below its initial list price. There was no difference between the homes. It was all about the presentation. Now let's talk about structure, because proper ground rules are what prevent emotional sabotage from taking root. A divorce home sale without structure becomes unpredictable. Miscommunication creates tension. Tension leads to delays, and delays reduce the sale price. Before listing, it helps couples come to a clear agreement about every major decision. That includes who communicates with me, who approves repairs, credits, and price changes, how showing requests are handled, and who is responsible for preparing the home, who needs advance notice before entering the home, how updates are shared so no one feels left out, what the minimum acceptable offer is, how disagreements will be handled so they don't interrupt the process. Putting this in writing is even better because it protects both sides. It reduces emotional triggers and prevents surprise decisions that can cause resentment. It helps the sale move forward even when the emotional relationship between the spouses is strained. Of course, because we're addressing so many of these sticking points all at once, this is also where those patterns of emotional sabotage can appear most clearly. I'll often hear things like, "I'm not cleaning for showings," "price it $100,000 over market to get more." These responses are not even necessarily signs of bad faith. Oftentimes, they're just emotional defenses, strategies people use without even realizing it. When people are hurt or overwhelmed, they slow things down or push back because it gives them a sense of control. Understanding this in advance can help you prevent the issues and keep the process neutral and productive. If not kept in check early, these types of disagreements can get out of control later, and this is often where sellers lose the most money. Here are just a few of the issues I see once the home gets into the showing and escrow periods. refusing showings because it's inconvenient, declining an offer because of resentment, delaying paperwork and procrastination on signatures to regain control, making the buyer wait as a form of retaliation, silence when signatures are needed, using access for inspection. These actions may feel satisfying in the moment, but the long term is significant. Helping couples see these patterns for what they truly are can save them thousands of dollars. But at this point, you might be feeling like this is too much to handle. So now let's talk about the professionals who help keep everything stable. First, there's the agent. I myself am a certified real estate collaboration specialist for divorce, which means I know how to lower the emotional temperature and communicate neutrally with all parties. I also connect my clients with the other professionals you need through this process. Mediators step in when communication becomes unproductive. Attorneys handle all of the legal matters and break them down in a way that's easy to understand. CPAs guide through the tax side. Financial planners help you understand how the sale affects your future housing options. In some cases, therapists or certified divorce financial analysts are also a good option to provide support when the emotional or financial burden becomes too great. And of course, a divorce coach. When all these professionals stay aligned, the sale remains stable. Without a team like this, emotions begin to seep through. Now, before we continue, take a moment to subscribe and like the video if this has been valuable. Many people going through divorce feel overwhelmed by the real estate side, and your engagement helps them find clear, neutral guidance. And if you want a personalized divorce-specific home valuation report or a detailed net estimate, just call or text, or you can click the link below. Next, let's talk about the financial realities of selling, because unexpected costs are one of the biggest triggers of emotional strain. Beyond agents' commissions, sellers cover several other costs that they often don't think about until they arise. These include escrow fees, title insurance, transfer taxes, natural hazard zone disclosure reports, HOA documents, and safety compliance updates. These costs often total 1 to 2% of the sale price. In San Diego, that can be $10,000 to $20,000 or more, depending on the price. When couples don't know this up front, the shock can lead to serious arguments. Taxes add another layer. Capital gains exclusions still apply if the home has been a primary residence for 2 of the last 5 years. A married couple can exclude up to $500,000. A single person can exclude up to $250,000. But whether you qualify as married or single depends on the timing of the divorce and the sale. And this is why involving a tax professional early is so essential. Even a brief consultation can prevent costly surprises and ensure both spouses maximize their available tax benefits. Pricing decisions carry major emotional weight as well. One spouse may want a higher price because it feels validating. Again, if it's unconscious, a higher price might represent a small success during a difficult transition. Meanwhile, the other spouse may want a lower price to reduce stress and move on quickly from a difficult period of life. These motivations are emotional rather than being based on what a buyer will actually pay. I bring the data so the decision is objective. When pricing reflects market conditions instead of emotional pressure, the outcome is smoother for both sides. Repairs for any remaining issues after inspections can cause another wave of conflict. San Diego homes commonly have issues involving roofs, sewer lines, plumbing, HVAC systems, or termites. Spouses often disagree about how to respond when buyers request repairs. Offering a credit is often the easiest way to move the process along. But whatever they choose, my role is to guide these decisions neutrally, present realistic cost ranges, and keep negotiations moving. We also need to address scams. Divorcing sellers can be more vulnerable because they're preoccupied and stressed. Fraudulent cash buyers, fake contractors, phishing emails that mimic escrow companies, and wire fraud attempts are all too common nowadays. I help clients understand what to verify, how to confirm buyer instructions, and how to protect personal information. Financial safety is just as important as market strategy. Let's also look at compliance items because they can also create surprising costs. California requires carbon monoxide detectors, smoke detectors, water heater straps, and certain local disclosures. HOA communities add another layer with their own fees and move-out requirements. These items seem small individually, but together they can add up to several hundred or even thousands of dollars. Now let's talk about life after the sale. Divorce usually means two separate households. That means deposits, movers, furnishings, storage units, parking arrangements, and sometimes temporary housing. In San Diego, moving costs alone can range anywhere from $2,000 to $7,000. Without planning, these expenses might feel overwhelming. Another challenge is financing for the next home or rental. Income may change during divorce. Credit scores may shift. Approval timelines may look different. Understanding these realities before you list helps you avoid scrambling once the sale closes. Double moves are another emotional and financial challenge. Some sellers must vacate the property before their next housing option is ready. Others must move into temporary housing until their financial picture stabilizes. Every move adds cost and stress. When possible, I will coordinate timelines so the transition is as smooth as possible, and both spouses move only one time. Now let's bring it all together. Selling a home during a divorce is a financial, emotional, and logistical transition. It requires clarity, structure, and teamwork, and an understanding of emotional patterns that are all too easy to overlook. When couples prepare, when they understand their triggers, and when they work with skilled professionals, they protect their equity and reduce stress. Across San Diego, I've helped divorcing homeowners sell fairly and move forward with a plan that is organized, respectful, and financially sound. Whether your situation is high conflict, cooperative, or somewhere in the middle, you deserve a process that supports your future. If you want to understand your home's current value and what your net proceeds might look like, reach out for a private consultation. I will guide you through every step. Selling your home during a divorce is not about losing the past. It's about using the value you built together to create a stable future apart. My name is Melina Rissone, Coldwell Banker West here in San Diego, and I look forward to see you next time.